So now that the Mario movie is going to be the first movie to make $1 more billion, I think it's pretty safe to say at this point, judging by the box office numbers, that the Mario movie is probably going to have more than one sequel. And today, random people on the internet, I'm going to talk about what I think the possibilities are for future sequels of this Mario movie franchise, the MCU, if you will. But before I get into what I think could be possible for this franchise and future sequels, I did post a review of the first Mario movie that just came out yesterday, and you can find a link in the description or in the eye corner, wherever it is, I don't know. Oh yeah, also, I forgot to add it in my Mario movie review, so spoiler warning for this video. I will be talking about some spoilers for the first Mario movie, okay? So now you know, spoiler warning. Don't say I didn't warn you. So after we watched the movie, me and my friend were tossing around a couple ideas of what we think could be possible for this franchise, and the first idea that was very interesting to me personally as a Mario fan was the idea of a Mario Sunshine movie, which I think in terms of story direction could be pretty interesting because this is actually the only game to my knowledge that Mario actually gets arrested and has to like clear his name, and it's a whole thing. And it could also provide as an interesting introduction to Bowser Jr. to the series, which could be cool. And Isle Delfino, of course, is an iconic location with iconic music, and they could add their own renditions. And I think a lot of like casual audiences may have not known about Mario Sunshine, so this movie could actually serve as an introduction to that game. So I think that could be really cool. There's also some really interesting stuff that I think they can do visually with the animation, like some really cool like water effects and animation with the flood and the paint and Shadow Mario, and I just think there's a lot of opportunities to do something unique because Mario Sunshine is a pretty unique game in the series, which is why there's literally no other game in the franchise like it. So honestly, just me as a fanboy, I just think Mario Sunshine would be a cool Mario movie, but that's not the only one I would like to see. I think it'd be cool for Mario Galaxy to have its own entry in the series somehow, which we already know at least is like existing somewhere in the universe because we saw Luna in the prison in the first Mario, so there's actually a good chance that Rosalina also exists and the whole Luma race, and there's probably a whole bag of worms that we have yet to dig into there. So I think that could be pretty interesting visually. Again, Mario Galaxy has some fantastic orchestral scores that the studio could take advantage of, and I think it could be really cool seeing the Mega Bowser and so many things they could tap into to make an interesting movie with Mario Galaxy. Again, at the end of the day, I know some people may have some concerns about like what the story could be, but at the end of the day, Mario is about having fun, and it's really not about having a good story. I mean, Miyamoto has always been vocal about him not really caring about stories in his video games, and it's just focused on good fun, and that's what I think a Mario Galaxy movie could be, good fun. I also wouldn't mind on the topic of a Mario Sunshine movie for it to be, if anything, maybe like a side plot of some kind, you know, maybe just exploring Isle Delfino, Mario meeting some of those vegetable looking motherfuckers that live in Isle Delfino. I'm sorry, I always forget what they're called. You can let me know in the comments. And Mario Galaxy, I don't know how that could be a side story because I think that would probably necessitate an entire movie. So I'd find it a little more difficult to believe Mario Galaxy being a subplot. I could see a movie of a Luma potentially being a side character, but not Mario Galaxy being the main focus of the story, because at the end of the day, one of the main things that they're doing with this Mario franchise, as we've seen with this first movie, is that they're combining elements of all the games and creating their own unique take on the Mario universe with it. So it's very possible that we can just see side characters from these games being implemented into their own original version of a Mario story, because this movie, if anything, has also shown us that it doesn't really follow a story structure from the games. It's kind of doing its own thing with all elements from the game. So I think that's also pretty possible as well, just like having those elements of those games being like side elements to the main story that they're trying to tell now. Now, what I think is even less likely, but I would love to happen again, is for them to introduce characters from the other side games like Luigi's Mansion. Obviously, there's also a possibility of a Luigi's Mansion movie. I also saw some rumors of a Luigi's Mansion potentially being a thing. I think it might have been just because Charlie Day said that he liked the idea of a Luigi's Mansion movie, but I don't know if that's true or not. Again, it's just a rumor, but I think what's more likely for that to happen, if they decide to do a take on Luigi's Mansion in a movie, would be, again, for that to be just like a side plot, like a Luigi side plot, while Mario does his own thing again, like in the first movie. Unless they were to take the story in some different direction than the game, then I don't really see there any reason for Luigi's Mansion to be its own movie. If anything, they'd probably have to include Mario in it, and not him being a damsel in distress, but him actually being a part of the story alongside Luigi hunting ghosts. That could be interesting, but I don't think Luigi's Mansion has the capability of being its own movie, sadly. But besides that, I would like to see Luigi's Mansion being implemented somehow, because I love Luigi's Mansion. I grew up with the first game. I mean, they can even include elements from Luigi's Mansion 2 and 3, because those are also good games. But again, the possibility of it being its own movie, I think honestly Luigi's Mansion is a little more side story material, IMO. Now, of course, there's also a whole extra world and opportunity of the Mario RPG side games, which could also be in the movie somehow. Again, I think it's probably pretty likely that they just introduce side characters from those games, like Fawful, obviously, or Geno. I mean, they would be great to see. But honestly, I mean, the Mario RPGs, in terms of like how important they are and like getting them introduced in this franchise, honestly, I think those are like late movie material. Like, we're talking Mario movie 3 or 4 maybe. So honestly, as much as I would love for there to be like a Mario, like a Bowser's Inside Story, or the one Partners in Time, that one, sorry, I was thinking of the name, like Partners in Time or something like that, for it to be its own movie, I kind of doubt it, to be honest. I'm sorry, Mario RPG fans, but the possibility of a Mario RPG getting its own game, unlikely. I mean, maybe elements of it, like introducing tracks and side characters, like I said, from the OST or something like that. It's possible. I think they probably will, just to please Mario fans at some point, maybe in later entries. But for this next sequel, for Mario Movie 2, like characters from a Mario RPG game, I don't know about that one. So now that I've laid all that out, I'm going to tell you my own prediction and my own version of events, what I think could be pretty likely for a Mario movie sequel. Here's my prediction of what will happen. The story begins with Mario's family telling the brothers about the loose Yoshi that is now in Brooklyn, after we saw the egg opening at the end of the end credit scene of the first movie. The brothers come pick it up, they befriend Yoshi, they come back to the Mushroom Kingdom, only for Princess Peach to inform them that Wario and Waluigi have been going to each country and robbing them, and that there's rumors that they are just as powerful as the Mario brothers and are probably now coming to the Mushroom Kingdom, assumingly after having beaten DK in a fight, because they are all so strong. And of course, naturally, Princess Peach would be scared of people or anybody existing that's just as strong as the Mario brothers, because they are the heroes now. She's probably just gonna be like, hey, Mario, Luigi, like, go take care of them. And then, more stuff ensues, probably some reference to Mario Party in there somewhere. And then what I think will happen for the end credit scene, or for the ending of this movie, I think there's 3 different ways this can go about. Oh yeah, and also Yoshi being in the movie will probably give the movie a good opportunity to like actually visit Yoshi's Island, like we saw in the first movie, and actually give some background to him, and he can be his own character. So I think there's 3 different ways the ending or end credit scene of this movie can go. 1, Wario and Waluigi somehow break into Princess Peach's castle and free Bowser. B, Bowser Jr., that is now introduced in this movie, had a plan with Bowser to free him in case he ever got captured trying to get to the Mushroom Kingdom and marry Peach. Or 3, Kamek, disguised as a Toad, since he's a wizard, reveals that he has been a secret spy in the castle or something and frees Bowser himself. Either way, I think it's very possible that Bowser gets freed in the second movie. I mean, at the end of the day, it's Mario, and Mario without Bowser, I mean, come on. It's probably not going to happen. Regardless of any of the possibilities and more things that I didn't even mention that could be possible, I mean, maybe, who knows? I mean, there's so many things they could do with this movie that I can't even list them all. Regardless, I just hope they take advantage of even one of the things that I mentioned in this video. Just one thing, and honestly, us Mario fans will be happy. And also, Illumination, if you're listening to me, please make this movie longer and not a fucking TikTok film. Okay, thank you. That's all. Bye.